Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are modding the Type R today. First mods on the car, we're doing a Radium dual catch can kit. It's a boring mod, but a necessary one. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about why we're doing that first, show you a little bit about the install, give you some updates. Let's go. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining us. My name is JP with Edge Autosport, if you don't know that already. This is actually, I lied. This is not the first modification we are doing to the car. We already did a Cobb Accessport. Make sure you go check out that video if you haven't already. But today we're doing a dual catch can kit from Radium. The reason why we're doing that is because we want the intake system and the engine to stay clean throughout our modding journey, throughout our journey with the car, getting it putting it through its paces, tuning it, putting parts on it, putting a big turbo on it, keeping that intake system clean is definitely going to be critical. So we want to make sure to do that. With any direct injection car, it's even more critical because you don't have fuel spraying on the back of the valves, and the valves get very, very gunky along with the entire intake system anyway, which would happen in any in any fuel injected car, in any car, whether it's port fuel injection or direct injection. So that's super critical. The car has it has 12,000 miles on it right now. I bought it with just slightly under 12,000. And to be honest, I haven't looked, but I don't need to. I've already seen engines in the past with just a few thousand miles on them. You can see the buildup start to happen, that carbon buildup. So, we want to prevent that from continuing even further. So luckily it is low mileage, so there's not a ton on there, I'm assuming, but we're gonna try to keep it clean from here on out. So Radium is one of my favorite companies to get mods from. I mean, Radium is not the only great catch can, but if you want a top-notch one, Radium is a good place to look. And we do have these on the site, by the way. All the parts that I'll be putting on this car and showing you guys, we do have them on the site. So hit up edgeautosport.com. Let us know if you have any questions about them. Also, we're happy to help you with that. But here's what comes with the kit. So you got your two cans right there. All the clamps, OEM style clamps, all the hardware. This is all from Radium too. This is not, third-party stuff that's sourced elsewhere. This is all stuff that comes from Radium directly. Nicely packaged brackets, some Radium stickers. These fittings right here, guys, are they're pretty badass. Stainless O-ring, swivel. I mean, this is as nice as you're gonna find in a fitting. So you can be sure that you're getting a nice kit if you sign up for the Radium, for sure. We have so much stuff going on. The last video I gave you a little sneak peek on some things that I had in my garage, but I've gotten even more stuff since then. We've got some Skunk 2 exhaust products in the house. We've got some Mishimoto stuff. We've got some Ohlins coilovers. Those are going to be nice. We got the Anki wheels and some Toyo tires. So let's go get those mounted up right now. Get them back here after the catch can is installed and start having some fun with this thing. We've been doing some draggy passes and data logging out on the street. I'm really interested to see, it's a front wheel drive car, so grip is limited. Grip, is not easy to come by, especially with a car like this, with this much torque and power, even in stock trim, just tuning it. I am at sea level too, so we're getting all the power. I'm curious to see what kind of meatier, bigger tires do for the car in terms of grip and our times that we're experimenting with the draggy. So I'll report back to you on that probably on a future video here in the next 1 or 2 videos. But yeah, I'm going to take the wheels and tires in. I'm gonna pull the Type R into the garage right here. It's wet as hell outside, so I'm gonna let it dry off a little bit. heat up the garage a little bit and get going on this install. A couple things about the catch can itself too. It has a dipstick so you can quickly check to see if there's an accumulation of oil. This is kind of like a, I don't know what you would call this, but it's got like, you know, that knurled kind of finish. So it's gonna catch whatever is on the rod, just like a dipstick. So you'll be able to easily see what the level is on there. O-ringed up at the top, of course. You've got some baffling in here, some kind of filtering media there. And of course on those brackets will fit right to the top of here, make it look like a really, really clean install. Dash 10 fittings up top here. And then when you go to change it, and obviously that's where anything is stored that might be accumulating in there. O-ring seal on the bottom side of the can there. You can actually fit some quick drain fittings to the bottom of these cans. I'm not going to do that, but you can actually fit some quick drain stuff if you care to just basically turn on a valve and drain it easily. I'll just, you know, if it fills up, you can always put that on later too, but if this thing fills up, I'm just going to take it off. But if it fills up too fast and too much, you know, you might have some other problems on your hands. This is really to keep the intake clean, and you can find out if there might be an issue by way of checking this frequently. But anyway, that's the functionality of the can itself. I have showed you everything you need to know about the catch cans. Again, if you have any other questions, just post them down below, shoot us an email, let us know. But it's time to pop the hood, get my hands dirty a little bit, and get this thing installed. Let's go. I'm only about 10-15 minutes in, and you can see I've already broken free kind of the area that we're mounting the first catch can. This is going to be the PCV catch can. These two bolt holes right there are what we're looking to get into. You need to take off this fuel line bracket. It holds this fuel line on. So that's where those two bolts go right there. And then you can see this is the cover for the fuel line bracket, just kind of a protective cover. So we're going to put both of those back on, but that's what you need to remove. Now there's the intake manifold, the back of the intake manifold. You can see the fitting that we took off of the manifold. Right there at the end of my flashlight. And that connects to a fitting just directly underneath this harness, plastic harness carrier. It's like right here, and you can easily just access it back here underneath the harness carrier. So bracket is all mounted up. I'm going to show you guys. That is how it looks. Super clean, very quick to get that thing on there. Take the dipstick off so that we have clearance for the fittings to go on here. Now these are swivels, so once you get to a point where it's tight, these will just continue to move around, so you need to tighten with a Allen right there on the top. So top one is fastened in there, and honestly, I probably should have put a tiny bit of oil on that O-ring, or just some sort of lube. I'm going to do that on this one. That one slid in there much nicer with the oil. I'm going to go ahead and lube this other one up as well. right. Now we can go ahead and secure the catch can to the bracket after I put in, actually we'll put this in last because we still have to put the fittings onto here. So make sure everything's snugged up. Go ahead and put it on there with these supplied bolts right here. First catch can is all wrapped up. I gotta put the dipstick in there again. But as you can see, nice and clean in there. Pretty inconspicuous, black and white, nothing fancy. It's too bad I didn't have a non-marring wrench, fitting wrench. I got that one pretty good, but I nicked up the top one a tiny bit, no biggie. I'm at the home office, so I don't have all the tools. We are one step closer to having a clean intake system, cleaner. We have to do the second catch can now, which is the crankcase ventilation. This catch can looks a little bit more involved, a little bit more parts to this one. There's a couple of different parts I think they include for both the FL5 and the FK8. If you're wondering, it does fit both. So some of the parts we'll use, some of them we won't, so it might not be as complicated as I think. But we will start off by assembling the catch can to the bracket first on this one. Okay, quick preview of just the catch can location here. You can see the fittings are all set up there. This mounts to the motor mount. Now I got to this point and to be honest, I looked at the instructions and it was a little bit more involved than I thought. I didn't have enough time at the end of the day to finish that, so I'm back. It's day 2. There's, like I said, more to do than what I pictured, having to do with some coolant lines. Actually, really quick, mainly this kind of dual hard line setup right here. This is kind of interesting. Some of this is coolant and some of it is a vent to the intake. As you can see, this is the coolant right here on the right, and then this is that vent from the valve cover to the intake for the crankcase. So, and then you're also making use of these two mounting locations to take the coolant back over here, because you are taking this out for it. They mention a couple different versions of the install, one being clean and one being a little bit easier. I prefer the cleaner option, which is a little bit more work, I think. So it's going to require me to take out the battery, and it doesn't say that I have to take out the intake box, but I'm going to take that out anyway just to provide a little bit more clearance. You're working with coolant, so I'd rather be able to get like rags underneath there and you know, just have enough room to work and not make too much of a mess. So I'm going to do that, get everything prepped and ready to go to plumb these lines and set up the fittings and everything, and then we'll be good to go. So we'll keep working here. Well, there we have it. We got the crankcase catch can installed, as you can see. A couple fittings coming up here, nicely routing to this bracketed hard tube setup that Radium sends with the kit. Looks very factory, if you ask me. These short routed tubes to go back to the intake system and the valve cover. So you know, when you're under wide open throttle, the crankcase is going to vent through here, travels through here, goes to the catch can, gets filtered obviously, and then runs back into the intake. So this is OEM style setup, or OEM functionality, just with the catch can in the middle. So obviously I have to put the battery and the intake back in. Should be pretty quick work here. One quick thing, I think earlier in the video I mentioned that you had to mess around with this coolant hose back here. You don't. It's just simply this coolant hose right down here, right beneath the intake. And it's pretty easy not to get super messy. Obviously it's always easy to get messy with the coolant, but in this case it was pretty quick work. It wasn't anything too crazy. A few rags to prevent any spills, and we're all good to go. So I'm just gonna button this thing up and start her up, and everything should be good to go. I started the video off with a little bit of a preview of what's coming next. The wheels and tires are mounted. They are back here. I don't have lug nuts. Totally forgot to get those at the house, so those are on the way right now. I will start off the next video with a wheel update. I will let you check out the wheels. Today is Monday, actually, that I'm finishing this up. Friday of this week, I'm heading over to English Racing to get our baselines done on their dyno. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the beginning of the video, but that'll give us a good baseline for where the car stands right now. And I definitely want to get the new wheels and tires on there so that we have a consistent reading for what we're going to be data logging and dynoing in the future. So wheels and tires do have an effect on power, so that way we'll have a good baseline on the new wheels. They're sitting right over there behind the camera, but I will start with an update on those and a showing of those on the next video. All buttoned up. One last time before I put the engine cover on, just give you a quick overview of the layout, or at least how it looks. Looks super smooth, nice and clean, and the colors would suggest really, I mean, anybody would open up this engine bay and not really notice any mods if they haven't ever modded a car before. It looks pretty factory, so it looks clean. And there it is with the engine cover on. As you can see, the line's sitting right in front of the cover. There you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you see all the future Type R videos, and make sure you like the video if you liked it, and that will help others find it that are looking for catch cans for their Type R. We're gonna wrap this up. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.